Hello, it's Alayna with Hope Harbor back with another yoga video. For today's video, I am planning a flow that's kind of a fluid, dancey type of flow that really keeps us moving the entire time until our Shavasana. And so it's going to be accessible to multiple levels, but it is going to be a little bit more active. We're not going to be holding poses as long, but I'm really excited for this. And so let's go ahead and roll out your mat and get started. Okay, coming to your mat, we're going to begin standing to kind of start out this movement, to get our body warmed up and energized. So let's go ahead and begin in our mountain pose or our Tadasana. With your feet about 3 to 5 inches apart. Your heels are underneath your hips. Your knees are not locked, so you have kind of a gentle bend there. Your tailbone is tucked in, so you're pointing your tailbone down towards the mat as you tilt your hip bones forward. Your core is engaged here, so we're kind of squeezing those stomach muscles as we draw our shoulders back, kind of opening up our chest. And our hands are wide open next to us. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable here. Let's inhale through our nose. Exhale through our mouth. Again, inhale through our nose. Exhale through our mouth. Last one together. Inhale through our nose. Exhale through our mouth. Now let's bring our hands to heart center. I will have some four-legged guests joining us today. Hopefully it won't be too much of a distraction. But instead showing that we can do yoga with pets at home. If anything, it challenges our focus and our distraction. I'm also trying to train June to allow me to do yoga and not be so bothersome. And then we have Ida and Annie on the couch as well. So with your hands at heart center, let's inhale our palms up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Bring your hands to the mat, bending your knees, sending your chest towards your thighs here. Let your head roll down, pointing the crown of your head towards the mat. Maybe try to straighten your knees a little bit, warming up those hamstrings. And then inhale, palms to shins, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, bending the knees, rolling up, coming through our mountain pose, bringing our hands back up above our head, interlacing our fingers, drawing those elbows back behind our ears. Exhale to the right, drawing that left shoulder back. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left, drawing that right shoulder back. Inhale back to center, cactusing your elbows, opening up the chest for that slight back bend. Inhale back, arms up, swan dive, forward fold. Let's run through that one more time. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, release, bending your knees, rolling up. Hands above your head, interlacing your fingers, pointer fingers release, pointing up towards the sky. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, cactus your elbows, opening up your chest. Inhale back up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Let's go ahead and plant your hands and step back into our down dog. If in down dog, if you ever get to, if your wrists get tired or your arms get tired, you can always come down to your knees. And then of course, you can always come down to child's pose for a resting position. It's always important to listen to your body and do what feels good. Inhale, that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bending the knee, bringing it forward. Let's go ahead and keep high on those back left toes. As you inhale, your chest up towards the sky. Arms are up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. So we have that knee over ankle alignment, and that back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Let's inhale, reach forward. Exhale, TikTok our arms down for our side angle. Inhale, back up. Exhale, flip the palm, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. Let's do that again. Reaching into the side angle. Inhaling back up. Reverse warrior. Come back to warrior two. So we're really moving breath to movement here. We're not moving too fast. And all of your movements are controlled here. Coming back to warrior two. And then let's go ahead and shift back on those back toes, coming back into our crescent lunge here. Hands to heart center. Let's walk that back foot closer to the front as we kick it up, moving into our warrior three. And it's okay if your leg's not as high. You can also bring your hands down here for some extra stability. Just finding that moment here. And then stepping back down on that back foot, moving back into our crescent, and then swan dive, arms forward, stepping that right foot back to meet the left, down dog. So that's kind of our flow. Let's move it to the other side. Inhale, that left foot up to sky. Exhale, bringing it forward. High on those back toes. Inhaling up into our crescent lunge. You can also come down on that back knee for another option here. Inhaling, opening up into our warrior two. Here. Exhale here. Inhale, reach forward. TikTok our arms down, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, flip the palm, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Reach forward on your exhale, TikTok your arms. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse your palm, reverse warrior. One more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, up to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. So we're getting warmed up here, for sure. Pivoting on those back toes. Coming back into our crescent. Here, hands to heart center. Stepping that foot forward as you move through your warrior three. And just wherever you are with warrior three, this balance pose here. And bring those toes back down. Coming back into that crescent lunge. Exhale, forward fold, or swan dive forward, stepping that right foot back, or the left foot back to meet the right in our down dog. Here in our down dog, let's shift forward into plank, stacking our shoulders over our wrists. If you want to come down to your knees, you can. And we can move through our chaturanga or our chin, chest, knees, and then pushing back up, meeting back into our down dog. We're going to move through that flow again with a little bit of variation. So let's inhale, right foot up to sky. Exhale, bringing it forward. Inhale, up into our crescent lunge. Exhale here. Inhale, open up into warrior two. Exhale, reaching forward. TikTok your arms, side angle. Inhale, up. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Inhale. Exhale, side angle. And if you need to hold your warrior instead of this movement flow, that's okay too. But if you are moving through it, this is our last one on the side. Coming back into warrior two, flipping the palm. Here in our warrior two, shifting back into our crescent lunge here. And let's bring our hands to heart center. So we step that back foot forward here, bending that front knee. Let's go ahead and tuck that left knee behind the right. And so we're gonna bend down, crouching down. You can bring that back toe for a little stability here, or your fingertips. And then we're gonna come back into our crescent. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, crescent. So this is a little bit more challenging. You're gonna feel it in that thigh here. Inhale, exhale. Arms up, swan dive forward, step that right foot back, down dog. Maybe walk out your dog a little bit here. You can stay here in down dog or move through your chaturanga or chin, chest, knees. Or knees, chin, chest, I should say. And meeting back in our down dog. Inhale, left foot up to sky. Exhale, bending the knee, bringing it forward. Inhale, up into our crescent lunge here. Exhale here. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, TikTok your arms, side angle. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale, reverse warrior. And again, just moving through this. That feels like a good option for you. Steadying your breath as we move through our reverse warrior, keeping that front knee bent. After our third one, coming back to our warrior two, pivoting on those back toes for our crescent lunge, hands to heart center, moving that back foot a little bit closer to the front. As you lean forward, bending the front knee, bending the back knee to tuck into it, crouching down, and then sending the foot back. Crescent lunge. Bending forward on your inhale, exhale, send it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, send it back. Arms up towards the sky, swan dive, forward. Left foot meets the right, down dog. Staying here, or moving through your chaturanga, or variation. And meeting back in our down dog. Wonderful job. Let's just go ahead and take a little break, coming down to our knees. Sending our hips back towards our heels, big toes touch for our child's pose. Just really connecting with our breath here. Deep inhales and exhales. Keeping your shoulders engaged so your elbows are lifted off the mat here, pressing your palms down as you send your hips closer towards your heels. And inhaling back up onto your hands and knees for our tabletop. We'll do a little bit of a core flow here. So you're gonna send those right toes out behind you. And then you're gonna lift your foot off the mat, parallel to your hips here. And so you can do this with just your knee, or if you're feeling a little confident in your balance today, then you can send the opposite arm out. So I have my right foot up and my left arm out. And you're really pressing through your palm here, so you're not dumping into your shoulder. Really have integrity and strength in your shoulder here. And on your inhale, you're bending the knee and the elbow, coming together underneath you. Exhale, send it back out. Inhale, bring it in together. Exhale, send it back out. Inhale, bring it in together. Exhale, send it back out. Do two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold, and then exhale back down onto the mat. Wonderful. Let's look over the right shoulder, sending the hips over to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, looking over the left shoulder. Back to center. Let's bring those left toes out behind us. Inhaling that heel up, parallel with your hip. Staying here, or bringing that right arm out in front of you. Again, pressing through your mat here, lifting through your shoulder. Inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale, reach out. Inhale, exhale. So we do this 5 times if that feels good. But as always, just finding that variation for you. And just moving breath to posture. Reaching out. Exhale, back to the mat. Looking over your left shoulder, sending your hips over to the right. Looking over your right shoulder. Let's tuck our toes, send our hips high, back, coming back into our down dog. Pressing through our shoulders here again. And then we're going to come down onto our elbows. So you can come down to your knees if this is easier, if you haven't come down into dolphin before. But it's very similar to down dog, except for your forearms are on the mat, which this is a great option whenever you have wrist sensitivity, or maybe even your shoulders are feeling tired. And your heels are definitely not going to come as close to the mat here as they would be in down dog. And we're going to move through some dolphin push-ups. A little bit more energizing pose flow here. So we're going to inhale, shoulders over wrist. You might need to find your alignment here. Exhale up. Inhale. Exhale, hips to sky. Keeping your core engaged. And again, lifting through your shoulders here. For this strengthening posture. And just following breath to movement. Coming down into your knees or taking a break if you need to. Just listening to your body here. Knowing that difference between pain and sensation. Coming back into our dolphin, hips come up to the sky, bringing your knees down to the mat, child's pose. Breathing deeply in and out through our nose. Really sending that breath all over our body here. We connect with our breath. We're inhaling back up to our tabletop whenever you're ready. Now we're going to move through a modified side plank gate pose here. So we're going to turn our right foot out 90 degrees. As we send our left foot out 90 degrees, send our right foot out to the side of the mat. So this is our side plank. And we're going to inhale, lifting our torso up. Exhale, reach over with that left hand. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, side plank. You can reach that arm out over your head if that feels good. Really feeling that stretch in the side body here. And keeping your core engaged, as that's going to protect your low back. And just moving through our breath. So we're staying mobile, keeping that movement within our joints, but we're not moving too fast to where we could injure ourselves. And we're really noticing how it feels in our body, that stretch and that strength. Reaching over, planting that left hand back down onto the mat, looking up with the right hand, and then bringing it down on the mat. Coming back into our tabletop as we prepare to move through the other side. Sending that right foot out, moves 90 degrees. Left foot comes alongside the mat. Opening up your chest, gaze is up at the left hand. Inhaling up again, keeping that core engaged. As we move through our side plank gate flow. You may notice differences on each side. Just typical. So we don't typically treat each side of our bodies the same. Usually dominant on one side. Continuing with that breath. We're not holding our breath here. Just going with what your body feels and is asking for. Being kind to our body if it needs a break. Maybe this is our last one. Planting that right hand back down. Left hand up towards the sky. Gaze follows. Exhale, hand to mat. Let's go ahead and sit back on our hips, sending those legs out in front of us for our staff pose here as we reach our cool down part of our flow today. Your feet are flexed out in front of you, arms up towards the sky, palms facing each other. You're drawing those shoulders back as you inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, curling the spine, bringing your hands to your ankles. Maybe you're able to draw your body closer towards your knees as you slowly inhale, rolling your spine back up, one vertebrae at a time. Hands follow. And again, as we stay with this movement, you're moving slowly with intention, reaching back forward, hinging at the hips. Exhale, reaching for your ankles, drawing yourself forward over your knees and your thighs. Inhale, slowly rolling back up. If you feel tightness in your hips or low back, just bring a bend to your knees. Inhaling up towards the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Slowly rolling back up through this. Maybe one more time. Exhale, folding over your legs as you begin rolling yourself back up. Bringing your hands down by your hips. Let's go ahead and bend your knees as you send your torso down onto the mat. Keeping our knees bent, bottoms of our feet are on the mat here. Let's go ahead and bring our knees in towards our chest as we give ourselves a little back massage, kind of rolling out the low back here. Strong circles with our knees as we hold on to our shins. And then bringing your feet down to the mat, move through our bridge pose here. Walking your heels towards your hips. Shouldn't be any closer than your fingertips brushing your heels here. Knees are hips width distance, but keeping integrity here. We're not letting our knees splay out. Inhaling, lifting our hips off the mat. Inhaling up. Exhale slowly with control. Rolling our spine back down. Taking a breath here. And then inhaling our hips up off the mat. Exhale, slowly rolling back down. One more, inhaling our hips up off the mat. Exhale, releasing. Let's inhale, bring our knees in towards our chest again. Really drawing them in. And then let's send our arms out into a T next to us. Palms are flat on the ground or the mat next to you. Inhaling here. Exhale, knees over to the left. Your gaze can be over that right shoulder for a full twist of the spine here. You really breathe into this twist as your hips are stacked on top of each other, but your shoulders stay on the mat. And that's really what's providing this twist here. If your knees don't quite come to the ground, you can use like a pillow or blanket or a block if you have one underneath your knees. And then inhaling, knees back to center. Your gaze is back at center. Exhale, knees over to the right. Keeping that left shoulder on your mat. Maybe it feels good to twist your gaze towards the left. It's one of my favorite poses, especially at the end of our flow, to really release these muscles, release the tension, especially if you have low back tension like I do, which I blame from working retail and at a restaurant for so many years. Really breathing into this twist here. Maybe finding your knees coming a little bit closer to each other or to the ground. And then inhaling, your knees back up towards the sky. Let's go ahead and extend those heels up towards the sky as well. You can bring your arms down next to you if you don't have something in your way. With your feet flexed and up towards the ceiling, you're going to begin very slowly and with control, lowering your heels. Keeping a little bend in your knees is fine. You're going to notice it gets harder. But really trying to control and not let your legs just fall. If you're feeling a little extra, when you're about 5 to 10 inches off the mat, crisscrossing your ankles a few times, and then lowering them all the way onto the mat. You can go ahead and prepare for your Shavasana here. Or if you are still feeling a little tightness in your low back, we can go into our fish pose, where we tuck our wrists, palms down, underneath our hips here. Your heels stay on the mat, your toes are pointed. And you're going to lift your head up, looking towards your toes, and then lifting up onto your elbows here, and then tilting your head back. So really elevating the chest here. You're going to kind of feel that low back release. And then reverse these movements. So your head comes back up, and then you lower back down off your elbows, and then release one hand at a time next to you. And now you can find yourself on your mat, being prepared for our final Shavasana. Just doing whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable, as you deserve this reward after working so hard for this flow. Maybe after working so hard on this day or this week. Allowing your hips, your shoulders, your heels, and your wrists, or your hands. Just weigh into the mat here. Allowing the weight of your head to just rest into the mat. As you feel the energy that we've created flow through your body here. Feeling it in your toes and in your fingertips. As your breath is steady now, this is really where we can set our intention or our attitude for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week. Maybe it's remembering this moment, coming back to this moment in times of stress, in times of worry. So we're able to clear our mind and just be present. Whenever you're ready, you can begin deepening your inhales and exhales. Bringing movement back into our toes and our fingertips as we come back to our physical body. Really filling our lungs with our inhales, pushing it all out on our exhales. Maybe gently rolling our head from side to side on our mat. And then when you're ready, bending your knees, rolling on to your left side, cradling your head with your left bicep. Coming into our rebirth. Acknowledging the differences in our mind and in our body, and who we were and where we were when we first came to our mat. And then whenever you are ready, pressing yourself back up, coming into an easy seated pose, crossing our legs in front of us on our mat here. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze down at your lap if that's comfortable. Stacking our shoulders over our hips. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhaling through our nose. Exhaling through our mouth. Really feeling our shoulders drop on those exhales. Inhale through our nose. Exhale through our mouth. Bringing our hands to heart center, pressing our thumbs into our sternum. I thank you for joining me today, for doing something special for yourself and taking time for yourself. These moments are important and necessary for us to better serve others. And inhale, your thumbs up to your third eye, to your forehead, aligning your heart's intentions with your mind's goals. You may now bow forward to seal your practice.